Participants will be starting now. So good morning and welcome to yet another session of Pre-Bell with William O'Neill India. In this session, we'll take you through Nifty 50's chart placement, along with its probable opening, some key global news and events, how US markets fared through the night, how Asian markets are trading at the moment, and at the end, the sectoral indices placement chart for you. Without much ado, let's start with Nifty 50's chart analysis. In the last 10 days, we saw two follow-through days failing as Nifty advanced by more than 1.5% on these two occasions, but volumes was lower than that of the previous day. So we could not classify them as a follow-through day because both of the conditions were not met. Same happened on Monday of this week as well, where Nifty advanced by more than 1.7%, but Monday's volume was lower than that of Friday. So Nifty is currently trading well above its short-term moving averages such as your 10 EMA and your 21 DMA, but it's trading below the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA. But in the recent few sessions, we saw Nifty gaining some momentum and has able to close over the recent resistance of 16,400. Going forward, if a follow-through day is achieved, we'll be able to shift the market status to a confirmed uptrend. And if Nifty breaches its recent lows of 15,735, then the market will move back to downtrend again. Talking about the key news was mostly majorly with respect to India's macroeconomic data. Talking about the 8 core industries growth for April, it stood at 8.4% in April against 4.9% in March. Coal, electricity, refining products, and fertilizers were the fastest growing industry as they grew at 28.8%, 10.7%, 9.2%, and 8.7% respectively in April. GST collections for May is estimated in a high range of 1.36 lakh crores to 1.4 lakh crores. The main data that came in yesterday was the GDP data for Q4 FY22 and full year FY22. India's Q4 FY22 GDP expanded 4.1%, which was in line with estimates. FY22 GDP growth for India came in at 8.7%, which was also in line with estimates. If we talk about this year's growth, comparing with last year's degrowth was around 6.6%. FY22 GVA came in at 8.1% against consensus estimates of 8%. Manufacturing, trade and hotels, mining and construction, FY22 GDP growth beat estimates for the following sectors. If we talk about FI and DI data for yesterday, FI again turned out to be net sellers of around 1,400 crores after a brief buying session on Monday. DI continued to remain net buyers of around 1,845 crores of Indian equities. Talking about how the US and Asian markets fared through last night and are currently trading at the moment. Dow Jones, S&P 500 and Nasdaq, all the three closed lower by 0.7%, 0.6% and 0.4%. All the three US indices had started the day lower by around 1%, but then managed to recover but still closed in the negative territory. Talking about the Asian peers are kind of trading in a mixed territory at the moment. Kospi is trading flat, Nikkei is trading 0.8% higher, Shanghai is also currently trading flat, and Hang Seng by minus 0.5%. Talking about the Brent crude and the USD INR, Brent crude cooled off to around $115 per barrel, post touching $120 per barrel on Monday after news of European countries banning 90% of crude oil imports from Russia. USD INR is currently trading in the range of 77.6%. SGX Nifty is indicating a muted opening, but with a negative bias at around 16,524, which is around 50 to 60 points lower than yesterday's close. Now let's talk about how the broader market indices in India and how the sectoral indices are placed. Nifty 50, BSE Sensex, and Nifty Mid Cap 100 are still in rally attempt and searching for their follow-through day. Nifty Small Cap 100 is in rally, but as you can see, the placement is still not good, as the distance from the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA for the small cap is still very high, around 7.5% from the 50 DMA and nearly 13% from the 200 DMA. Talking about certain sectors, realty, bank, pharma, financial services, and auto are in a rally at the moment, with auto really placed well with a D-Day count at 0. And the good thing to look at is the 50 DMA and the 200 DMA is the only sector which is comfortably trading above its 50 DMA and the 200 DMA. It's trading around 7.4% above the 50 DMA and 6.5% above the 200 DMA. And even the short-term moving average in this case, that is the 50 DMA, is kind of trading is trying to trade higher above the 200 DMA, which is a good sign. Talking about the sectors not so in momentum, I mean, the most talked about sector that's not in momentum is the IT sector. The IT sector is currently trading 10%, 10 point, to be precise, 10.3% below its 50 DMA and huge nearly 16% from its 200 DMA. I mean, that's it. And thank you from my side. And stay tuned to the space of Pre-Bell with William O'Neill India for a daily dose of market updates.